Now I'm going to words capitalization. I've made some notes for you guys. If you can go through it, and the lecture will be posted for one day, and you can go through it again and again, because it is something very common. Students ask all the time which letter should be capitalized and which should be not. So correct use of capital is very important areas to master when writing the letter, especially in OET. The first one would be medication and diseases. So students, proper noun include the brand name of a drug or registered trademark of the manufacturer should be capitalized, like Ritalin, Voltaren, any other like Brufen if you're writing Brufen. But if you're writing ibuprofen, ibuprofen is not a trademark. It's actually the formula of a drug. So you will not write I in capital. But if you are writing Brufen, you will put B in capital letter. So next one is that the chemical constituent should be written in lowercase. Okay, that I told you already. Names of diseases should always be in lowercase, like bowel cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes. Next one is eponyms. Some medical conditions are named after the person who discovered it. Okay, I have put this thing here because we were told the name of diseases should be in lowercase. So student started writing Bell's palsy and Parkinson disease also in the not in the capital letter, so it was mistake as well. So you should know the eponyms are the medical condition that are named after the person, so they should be capitalized too. It's very simple. It's just that you have to know these things, and you will be able to write, and you will not do mistakes in these when you will be writing a letter. Name of medical procedures. Okay, so medical procedures like echocardiogram, I have written here in a capital letter, but if you are writing in a sentence, so you will not write with a capital E, you will write with a small e. The next is proper nouns named something specific as in the examples below that I have written. These words must always be capitalized. And what are those? For example, you're writing about the job titles that we write in addresses, endocrinologist, rheumatologist, lactation consultant. Always put these type of specification in capital letter. And next one is places, including the addresses. Like I have written example, Summer Hills 168 Mount Road. This should be in capital letters. Titles when they precede the name of a person. The patient was seen by Dr. Sam. Nurse Gaines is in charge of the patient care. So note these things. That could be very useful while writing the letter. So going to the next. It's just simple reading. It's just a simple thing. There's nothing to be very worried about. So I'm just reading things. So, you just have an idea about these things, how important these things while you're writing a letter. Common nouns. So common nouns do not name any specific institution, place, person, or profession. We have known this fact for like years that we never ever put common nouns with the capital letter, so they are never to be capitalized. If, for example, the patient was admitted to the hospital and the patient does not have a family doctor. Holidays, months, and days. Holidays, months, and days of the week all need to be capitalized. However, seasons do not. Please note this thing. Sometimes what happens if people start putting summer, winter with a capital S and W as well. You should not put seasons in the capital letter. The baby was born on St. Patrick's Day. The patient was admitted to hospital on February 16. You can see the example and memorize them. The pronoun I must always be capitalized. This is something that we all know. It was I who treated the patient. First word of a salutation. Capitalize the first word of salutation and the first word of a complimentary close. Like yours sincerely, Y should be capitalized, and in Dear Dr. Robert, the dear D should be capitalized. Okay, so next is the important thing, that is punctuation, and people do a lot of mistakes in these, and they are very, very important. So I try to cover it in simple words, so you guys will have a better idea that how to use these. So I personally had so much problem with punctuation. I was not very good in it, and I used to do a lot of mistakes with the determiners and the punctuation. So I have written some examples as well for you guys from my own letters. Okay, so first one is full stop, then comma, then semicolon and colon, bracket, and apostrophe. Okay, all these are used in formal English, so we'll be discussing these. The explanation marks are not used in these letters, so I will not discuss that. First is full stop. So full stop is actually a punctuation mark that we use at the end of a sentence, okay, or any abbreviation, or used to suggest that there is nothing more to say on the topic. This is the end of this sentence. So next, the thing I told, the next thing I put here is salutation. I have taken this picture from OIT website, and they have clearly written that you can use the punctuation after Mrs. and Davidson, and you can that would be all right. And if you don't use it, that would be all right as well. But sometimes what students do, they put full stop after Mrs., but they forget to put comma after Davidson. Or sometimes they put a comma after Davidson, but they don't put a full stop after Mrs. If you are putting a punctuation mark after one syllable or one word, you have to put on the other as well. Otherwise, just leave it. Okay, so next up is comma. So next up is comma. Next slide. One minute, guys. Okay. So in comma, as you know, these are some connectors that are associated to comma, and these are very common in OET letters. So I have categorized in two basic forms. Like this, you have to put comma after some connectors, and you have to put comma before some connectors. Okay. So the connector that I the comma in which the connectors are used after it are more important. So I have written some examples from my letters. So first one is therefore. Mrs. XX complaining of body aches. Therefore, your valuable assessment is needed. So we have this comma after the therefore. It's very important. Please note this one. Second one would be consequently. Doctor tried to contact the patient, but nobody answered the phone. Consequently, 999 was contacted. Okay. The next connector is subsequently. Subsequently, comma, new medications were prescribed. And the last one here is, however, there is a history of concomitant epigastric pain radiating to back level. However, comma, there are no complaints regarding any sensation of lump, obvious anxiety, or history of relapse. I have taken this last example from a letter coming from you guys, and there was also mistakes of punctuation. That's why I put it here, and you can see it. The next one is always put comma before these connectors. These are not that common in the OET letters, but you can always memorize them before punctuating in letters. So these are, I have always remembered these as a mnemonic fanboy. The fanboy mnemonic stands for, A for and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. So next, there are some more common uses of comma. The next slide. Okay, so next one is you have to put comma in between the dependent clause and independent clause. So firstly, you have to understand what is a dependent clause and what is an independent clause. So dependent clause is a sentence which meaning is not that clear without the independent one. Like when the drugs were administered. So this is a dependent clause, and you don't know where the drugs were administered, when the drugs were administered, and who was the one who was taking these drugs. So when you are putting this type of sentence, you have to put a comma. This is a dependent clause, and then you have to write the independent clause. That is, patient felt better. So the next one example is after the patient was discharged, dependent clause, comma, he collapsed again, the independent clause. The first thing you have to memorize is you have to put comma between a dependent clause and an independent clause. The second one is unnecessary information. The unnecessary information is information. If you omit that information from your sentence, it won't change the nature of the sentence. The sentence still will be meaningful. So that is, thank you for seeing Miss Hall, comma, a 65-year-old lady, comma, whose sign and symptoms are suggestive of grave disease. If you're writing it thank you for seeing Miss Hall and omitting the age part, this sentence still will be meaningful. The next one example is, I'm referring Mr. Duke, a forklifter, who is being discharged due to this. An example you can put here. So third one is dates. I have told you that how to write the date. So if you are writing a date, especially after the address, you have to write as February 10, 2020, or you can write 10th February 2020. If you are writing 10th February 2020, you don't have to put the comma. Next one is Wednesday, February 10, 2020. The fourth one is comma after time phrases. It is very, these two words are very important. People use so much this in the OET letters. On admission, on 2012, on to date, you have to put comma after these. Access has seen doctor 3 times. Fifth one is to separate the dose from the medication. If you are writing a dose from the case notes, you have to put the medicine first, then put a comma, then put the medicine dose, and next would be the next medicine, or if you want to put the full stop and the sentence will end there. And the last one here is after salutation. I have told you already. And closing. Okay, so I have taken this Dear Dr. Biggs from my own letter. I didn't put the full stop after doctor, and I wanted you guys to take this thing, to look at this thing that I used to write letters like this, after Dear Doctor, I didn't used to put the full stop, and I used to put the comma after the Biggs, and it was costing me marks. And then I realized that this thing is like this that I told you in first full stop. Okay, so yours sincerely, as I have cleared it already. So next step is semicolon and colon. Okay, these are very easy, and these are not that commonly used in the letters. So semicolon will be used between two independent clauses. Please remember that comma is used in between independent and dependent clauses, and semicolon is used between two independent clauses. For example, patient went to the doctor, the meaningful sentence, semicolon, he hates getting shot, the independent clause. And the colon, so colon follows the independent clause, clauses that could stand alone, as I told you, and can be used to present an explanation, or sometimes it draws the attention to something or join ideas together. Like you have to introduce some sort of list, you have to join the ideas together, then you will use the colon. For example, Mr. XX will need a diet rich in colon, vitamins, minerals, and proteins. We'll put it like this. Okay, so next up would be bracket. Ms. Wang is prescribed amoxicillin 1 gram twice daily and omeprazole 20 milligram twice daily. I have taken this example from the official OET site. You can also write it like amoxicillin, 1 gram and omeprazole, 20 mg twice daily, or you can write it 1 gram twice daily and omeprazole 20 mg twice daily. You can put comma in it, you can put bracket in it, both of the punctuations are right to write the medications like this. Okay, so next one is apostrophe. So apostrophe is something that we use very commonly in English, and it's it's pretty easy that how we use it. It has two uses in the OAT letters. At first is to show the possession. So patient's case notes, Thomas history on Thomas history or Thomas history. Okay, one thing I would like to tell is that people have this misunderstanding that if you're writing a person's name, Thomas, you have to write it with the S, apostrophe S. But you can write after the Thomas name with no apostrophe S. Okay. So in this, the patient's notes and patient's notes. I have written the patient's notes in the red form, and in this the apostrophe is after the patient's is wrong, because if you're putting a singular uh, subject here, you can use it in both ways. But if you are putting a plural subject, you can always put the S at the apostrophe after the S. The second one would be to mark contraction. I'm a doctor. If you can use I apostrophe M, and you can it will go like I am a doctor and doesn't as well. So I think that next one is just wait a minute, guys. So I have written this letter to just make you guys revise all the punctuation that is in the address, date, and intro. I have written this in red. So firstly, the date that I've written, I have told all you guys about this. The next one is Dear Dr. Biggs. I have written the Dear Dr. Biggs in another form as well. And then the reference and how you can put Pollen here and Mr. Chadwick Hopper and the comma there. And I have actually put this example for you guys that you have to see this letter. I have marked all the things in red in next 2-3 slides. I don't have to repeat them. By reading them, you can see them. And if you have any query, you can put in the chat box. So for me, that was it today for today. And I will hand over to Zameen for the grammar portion.